Hello everyone, it's Sunday, my voice is back, so here is the next episode of the most interesting urban development news from around the world. And by the way, I'm still making these episodes weekly, so subscribe to the channel not to miss the future content. The Brazilian federal government has announced an investment of nearly $2 billion to modernize public transport across the country. The program covers the purchase of more than 5,000 new transport units, such as battery buses, diesel buses of Euro 6 standard, and trains. The main goals of the program are to reduce emissions and improve air quality in cities, reduce fossil fuel consumption, and stimulate national production. So, all of these vehicles should be ordered from local manufacturers, which will also be beneficial for the Brazilian economy. And in addition to the electric buses themselves, the program will also include installation of charging infrastructure and staff training. In the French city of Toulouse, they launched the construction of a high-speed rail line to connect the city with Bordeaux and Paris. When the line is finished, the trip from Toulouse to Bordeaux will take 1 hour and 5 minutes, and Toulouse to Paris 3 hours and 10 minutes. In total, there should be built 220 kilometers of new lines between Bordeaux and Toulouse, 2 new stations in Agen and Montauban, and a convenient transfer to local public transport in Toulouse itself. The line is scheduled to be launched in 2032, and its total cost is estimated at 14 billion euros. In addition, has recently been launched the so-called Toulouse North Rail Link. This project, worth almost €1 billion, increased the number of tracks at the northern entrance to Toulouse to 4 on a 19-kilometer stretch, ending a bottleneck that prevented the required number of trains from moving simultaneously. The Moroccan city of Casablanca is preparing to launch 2 new tram lines that will increase the total length of the network by 60%. Construction of the T3 and T4 lines began in 2019 but was delayed mainly due to the coronavirus pandemic and was mostly completed only at the beginning of this year. Since March 2024, both lines have been undergoing test runs and are currently simulating scheduled operation. The line operates 66 Citadis X05 tram cars, which Alstom has been supplying since 2022, and they are equipped with a single driver's cab and doors of both sides for two-way traffic. The network in Casablanca is designed so that none of these 4 lines share a common track section, but have intersections with the possibility of transfer. In addition, the city has long-term plans to build a subway, as the population of the agglomeration has reached 3 million, and the tram in some areas is already operating at the limit of its capacity. Meanwhile, Dallas Area Rapid Transit is starting a test run of 8 new Stadler trains. The trains are set to begin operating in late 2025 on the Silver Line, a 42-kilometer 10-station commuter route connecting Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport to Shiloh Road. Testing will continue throughout the fall between the Knoll train station in Dallas and the Terminal B station at Dallas Airport. Stadler has been awarded a $119 million contract to deliver 8 Flirt DMUs in 2019, each consisting of 1 motor wagon and 4 passenger ones. All of them were assembled at the manufacturer's plant in Salt Lake City, and the last one arrived to Dallas earlier this year. The Turkish company Bozankaya has prepared for delivery the first tram from a new order for the Romanian city of Timisoara. The Turkish manufacturer began cooperation with Timisoara back in 2019 when Bozankaya delivered 23 trams in purple livery. The new delivery of 17 trams will be painted in yellow. These new trams are interesting because they can travel at least 70 kilometers without a contact network thanks to their battery system. And for this feature, Turkish trams received the European Railway Cluster Initiative Award in 2021 and the title of the most innovative company in Europe. Not bad. The Norwegian capital Oslo has signed a 150 million euros contract with CAF for supply of 20 metro trains with an option to add 90 more trains in the future. They will also be equipped with onboard batteries that will allow them to reach the next station in case of power outage. In addition, the trains will be prepared for driverless operation in accordance with Go-Way 4 standard. The new trains will be used in particular for the Fornebu line, which is currently under construction and is scheduled to be completed in 2027. This line will be about 7.7 kilometers long and will have 6 new underground stations. Currently, the T-Bane fleet consists entirely of 115 MX 3000 trains from Siemens, delivered between 2005 and 2014. The Polish capital Warsaw has launched a newly constructed tram section in the Sielce district. The new section, which runs along Górka, Spacerowa and Gagarin Street, is about 2 kilometers long and served by Line 11, which runs from Lower Mokotów and goes by the central railway station. In addition to the tram line itself, the renovated streets also received bicycle lanes and new landscaping. The tram frequency will be 8 minutes during peak hours and 12 minutes at other times. The Italian city of Florence has decided to use money to encourage car drivers to switch to bicycles and allocated 1.2 million euros for this purpose. The program is called Pedala Firenze Ti Premia and offers participants the opportunity to receive up to 30 euros per month based on 20 cents per kilometer. Those cyclists who already use bicycles will receive slightly less, up to 15 cents per kilometer. To participate in the program, citizens will need to register through a special application, and then they will receive a special anti-fraud device, which is a patented system for monitoring and gamification of urban routes. And in total there should be 2,000 participants. The 200 most active users will receive additional 100 euros every month. You know, I have some mixed feelings about this news. Of course, encouraging people to choose a bicycle is a good initiative, but will this financial stimulation really work? Especially since 30 euros per month seems to be a very weak motivation. And by the way, what about the cycling infrastructure in Florence? Are there safe bike lanes everywhere? So, what do you think of this initiative? Is it okay or not? In Barcelona, Spain, several suburban train routes have recently been disrupted. The city is suffering from thefts of copper cables, and allegedly after one of these incidents, a fire broke out in the city rail tunnel and all trains were forced to stop in the suburbs. And the fact that this happened on the day of the local elections make this situation even more controversial. But in any case, this story shows how complex and sensitive the modern public transportation system is, and I really hope that Barcelona can put an end to this situation. And a very similar case recently occurred in Stockholm. A part of the power cable was also stolen on the newly built Lilla Lidingö-Bron tram and pedestrian bridge, and because of this, the test run of the trams had to be postponed. By the way, the cables there were not copper, which was obviously what the thieves were hoping for. In one of my previous videos, I already talked about the collapse of the bridge in Baltimore, and this time the news is about its reconstruction. The company named WeBuild Group has announced that they have submitted their preliminary design and plans for the rebuilding of the Francis Scott Key Bridge to US officials. The company, which has a subsidiary in the United States, said that their design would make the bridge safer by expanding the channels through which ships can pass. WeBuild group is known for being among the companies that built the San Giorgio Bridge in Genoa, Italy, in just 15 months to replace the Morandi Bridge, which collapsed in August 2018. The project, completed in 2020, cost a total of 290 million euros, including the cost of demolishing the remains of the collapsed bridge. Meanwhile, the Maryland State Transportation Administration plans to announce a formal tender for the bridge rebuilding by the end of May, and they estimate that it will cost between 1.7 and 1.9 billion US dollars, and the reconstruction is expected to be completed by the fall of 2028. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching and see you next time. By the way, if you like my videos and would like to support this channel's development, you can do it through Patreon or YouTube sponsorship. There are no small donations, so I'm very grateful for any support. All links are in the video's description.